On February 24th, 1836, a desperate plea for help went out to the people of Texas and to all Americans in the world. What was that passionate call for help? We'll talk about that next on this episode of Historically Texas. It was February 24th, 1836. A small garrison of Texans under the command of William Barrett, Buck Travis, and James Bowie were determined to hold their position in the Alamo at all cost. But how did they get there? Well, in October of 1835, an army of Texas volunteers under the command of Stephen F. Austin began to lay siege to San Antonio. By mid-October, their numbers had swelled to over 400, with individuals such as James Bowie, James Fannin, and Juan Seguin arriving to take part. On October 28, 1835, Bowie and Fannin led a group of Texans against the Mexican army under the command of General Martin Perfecto de Cos at Mission Concepcion. The detachment of 275 Mexican regulars were defeated and sustained heavy casualties of 50 men and the loss of a cannon, and by December of 1835, the loss of San Antonio and the Alamo. Austin left to go to Washington on the Brazos for the Convention of 1836 and left Bowie and young William B. Travis in charge of fortifying the Alamo for a counterattack. Fannin left and headed for Goliad, and by December of 1836, Austin would be dead. Crockett and his Tennessee volunteers arrived in San Antonio to join Travis on February 8th. Santa Anna's army would begin to arrive on February 23rd, 1836, and this prompted the Texans to move into the Alamo, which was now heavily fortified. The Alamo had 18 serviceable cannons and about 150 men at the beginning of the siege. As the Mexican army began to arrive, a parley was called for by the Alamo commanders, and James Bowie and Green B. Jameson met with Santa Anna and his officials. His terms were surrender at discretion, which meant he got to decide their fate. The 26-year-old Travis answered with a cannon shot from the 18-pounder, and so the 13 days under fire began. Santa Anna ordered a red flag be flown from the San Fernando Church 3 miles away and could be seen clearly from the walls of the Alamo. This was to indicate no quarter would be given. So 188 years ago today, on February 24th, 1836, William B. Buck Travis wrote his famous letter that would be addressed to the people of Texas and all Americans in the world. Fellow citizens and compatriots, I am besieged. He ends his letter with these words: "If this call is neglected, I am determined to sustain myself as long as possible and die like a soldier who never forgets what is due to his honor and that of his country, victory or death. P.S. The Lord is on our side. When the enemy appeared in sight, we had not 3 bushels of corn. We have since found in deserted houses 80 or 90 bushels and got into the wall 20 or 30 head of beeves." On March 1st, the reinforcements that are known today as the Immortal 32 arrived from Gonzales. The total number of Texans that died defending the Alamo is only an estimate. I've always been taught it was 189. There were few survivors, mostly women, the most famous being Susanna Dickinson. Santa Anna had the bodies of Travis, Bowie, and Crockett, and the others piled up and burned. What Santa Anna meant by these actions, which was fear and surrender, only fueled the fire of revolution. Days later, the massacre at Goliad would take place with a similar outcome. It would only result in a miraculous defeat of the Grand Mexican Army in 18 minutes. As Sam Houston's small Texian army at San Jacinto shouted, "Remember the Alamo, remember Goliad." They fought like warrior poets and chased the Mexican army back across the Rio Grande, and so sealing the independence of the Republic of Texas. We are coming into the days where we commemorate these heroic events 188 years ago. I believe we are in a time like that again. Our republic is at stake, and our great state of Texas is being invaded once again by a foreign army. We must stand up and echo the words of William Travis on this day, so many years ago. To the people of Texas and all Americans in the world, I am besieged. I don't want this to turn political, but we are in the most important election cycle of my life. You must go this week or on election day, March 5th, and vote. If you don't, Texas and our republic may be lost. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic, but the current conditions in Texas and the U.S. are turbulent. We must return to the days when brave men stood to fight for their land and their families' freedom. I will add also that I believe that the Lord is on our side and our God-given rights and liberties will be preserved. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And until next time, God bless Texas, y'all.